Hello YouTube! It is 37 degrees outside, it is sweltering hot. I am doing some cleaning out of my closets, that's why it's open. Because I need more space as more and more Chaos Dwarf models are being repainted and finished and everything. So I'm taking my airco break while watching some Sakugan anime, and I decided, hell, why not do a little opinion piece, or how you wanna call it, a bit of brambling. Gonna bore you for a while with my chit chat. And today I want to talk about what I called, and I think it was actually a term and I still kept using it, the soft scores of tournaments. Now I haven't played tournaments in years, but as far as I believe they are no longer usually in the total. They're now basically separate categories like painting and converting and army building and woe factor and everything, and then you have the actual tournament scores. And what I want to talk about is that I'm not really agreeing on it. I'm not saying that I won't play something due to it, but I used to be like that. But I don't necessarily agree on it, so I'm gonna start with an example. So want to play Chaos Dwarfs this Friday? No, I can't. I haven't painted yet, so I know, but you can play with them already. No, not painted. So that's an actually conversation I had once at a club. You can call me an elitist or a snob or whatever you like, but in my mindset for this hobby, and by default I don't mean the Games Workshop hobby, but like any kind of wargaming, whether it's historical, 6mm, 10mm, some 28mm new skirmish game, naval gaming, space gaming, Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer 40k, I don't care. If it's not painted, I am not putting it on the table. For me it's more than just moving around little soldiers, so I don't want the proof that I'm the next Julius Caesar or that I can build army lists who are tougher than Chuck Norris. No, for me the whole wargaming hobby involves most aspects. I'm not gonna say converting and curious batching because I'm not that good at kit bashing, but the making of the army list, especially the buying, because I love buying stuff. Well, often goes out of hand. But painting the models, throwing in a knot conversion, style my own force, it's something that's all part of me as well for this hobby. So, because face it, it costs buckloads of money, though I must say to the defense of the wargamer, I've been into Lego, I've been doing shows, believe me, wargaming expenses, they're nothing. Because we all say a box of Games Workshop figures is expensive, well, a box of Legos is just as expensive, if not more. So yeah, every hobby. I also collect anime figures. I got figures of 200, 300 euros each, and that's a figure that's just standing on the shelf. Bottom line, I like watching them, and I'm not fondling them like some people do, so don't get wrong ideas, but I like just standing in front of my closet with all my Luna Marias, which is my waifu, as you all know. If you have been following my channel or blog in the past years, and I can be relaxed by just watching at it and have the thrill of the hunt. But yeah, as I said, wargaming, not the only hobby that's expensive. I mean, every hobby, if you do it this ends up being expensive, unless you collect street pebbles or something. That's basically free, but or ants or stuff like that. But well, I wouldn't even dare to calculate how many I spend on hobbies. I think that's better, because if Nashi knows that, she would realize we could be living in a big mansion with a swimming pool and a tennis court and everything somewhere in the south of France, so we're not doing that stuff. So if you add like that also the cost, like source material, buying anime DVDs, buying historical documentaries, Osprey books. Now all that changed a lot with the internet being more popular and more widely available, but talk about 15-20 years past, that was your way to go to get a relying, and yeah, you would get really expensive. So now for the next months, years, I'm going to trying to get back full time into Warhammer. I'm doing some things which might make club life easier, which I can't tell about yet, because bear shooting, you know how the saying goes. So also trying to motivate myself to spend more time painting and less time slacking. To that end, for example, I am cleaning out the closets and really losing some stuff like 40k model and everything. It's never gonna happen again 40k, so I missed the whole edition. Never really liked it before, but that's something for another video. We're not gonna talk. I am going to join next year the Battle Against the Grey on the Chaos Boss Online forum, so that's a given. It's just calculate whatever you have, you add what you buy, you distract what you paint, and try to end up in a negative by the end of the year, 12 months. So, which I know is not really gonna happen because I tend to start off very well in those things, and then come the second half of the year, it's my birthday, it's the holidays, everybody's giving me holiday money, and you have to buy figures for yourself because we don't know which one to buy, and then suddenly the mountain goes boom up again. That's a given thing, eh? So yeah. Also add to that January is usually the month where you can do good deals because a lot of people are making new resolutions for the year and then they sell off armies, but that's the benefit with Chaos Dwarf, they're nearly never there. They're so rare and so niche, you're not gonna find many of those on a yard sale, clean out Facebook groups and anything. Of course, with 3D printing it is tempting. I've got my eye on a big army deal which would add a lot again to the mountain, even though I still have, I think if I count it old Warhammer, it's gonna be, well, I don't know the new points and I'm waiting for the old world to see how that points are going to be, but it used to be slightly under 10,000 points of Chaos War before that, so it's a lot of metal blunderbusses to repaint and everything. So, but yeah, back to the point, being the soft scores of tournaments, as I said. They all have it, whether it's War Machine, Flames of War, Warhammer, they all used to have it, so they changed it because a lot of people didn't want to paint their figures, they just want to play, which is fine by me, but I'm just like none of that. And for me, finding loopholes, throwing dice is not the only thing, but the hobby for me, you care for your models, you find tutorials, anything. I can't bend an arm or a leg, but even you don't need to be an expert painter. I'm not an expert painter and I've been doing this hobby since 1994. So yeah, I know there might be people watching this who weren't even born back then. Sorry for that. I am that old. And I wasn't a young one either in 1994, so... I understand, for example, that when you play like in an official Games Workshop tournament, you bring Games Workshop figures. When you play in a Privateer Press tournament, you bring Privateer Press figures. All fine with that. Tournaments are that, for me, everything is level. Bring what you like, just make sure it's painted. Well, you don't have to make sure anymore, but it gave a lot of points. Yeah, there you go. Hi, little man. I guess he needs something. So there he goes. He's waving me off, so... I'll be back in a moment. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. You know, I'm today home alone with the little guy, and he wanted a cookie, so he's a happy camper now. No, but where was I? So the spirit of the army is also something that I find rather important. For example, you have that 9th Age 2 Demon Prince army list, which is like a net list, like they call it. And it just plays itself and people are playing it and they don't know what to do with it, but they just have so many good stats and so many good, well, not even combos, because they don't know how to play that they can whack most regular in-character armies, like they used to call it. So it's also, I find that a bit meh. I can understand at a tournament, and if it's like a new guy playing with an army like that, I really like it because you know what that army can do. He doesn't know the weaknesses of that army, so you can exploit that, and suddenly he realizes he ends the tournament with 0 wins and just doesn't know what happened. And okay, man, if he sells his army then for a price, I'm fine with it. I'll buy it. But yeah, that's things. Other parts of the hobby that are, well, not only the competitive factor. That's why I used to call him. Soft scores, because in the end tournaments are in a competitive setting, meeting new people, but if you got like people that play on the edge without knowing why they're playing on the edge and are just there to win at all costs with a net list, unpainted army, using proxy models that nowhere resemble the figure that they're doing, and just putting a little strip of paper in front of it and saying these 20 goblins are my Chaos Warriors or something, and then it's like the Hero Quest goblins. Well, I don't want to meet that guy. I don't want to get to know him because we're never gonna agree on anything in it. So it's well, things are just how my brain works, how my character works. I don't like people who play like I tend to play competitively as well in tournaments. It has softened a lot with the years by not playing one hand and everything, but yeah, there's a difference in my opinion. Like, well, let's take a soccer example. I'm gonna take English soccer because most people of you will be from there, and if I now take Belgium teams examples, you won't realize. But let's say Manchester City plays in the League Cup against Wrexham, because well, Wrexham was in the news with Ryan Reynolds and everything, and they would put on not only their strongest squad, but they would also go all out and win like 14-0 or something. Haaland scoring 5 or 6 goals, and they would be cheering like they just won the World Cup. That's just not decent. I once had it with Belgian national team when Dries Mertens was starting to show off against, I believe it was Gibraltar or San Marino, and we were like 7-0 in the lead, and he was just making in a certain way fun of his opponent. So nah, same with Belgium against South Korea when Van den Botto went to step on the ball and have some show, and 5 minutes later he was tackled, his leg was broken, he was end of career. Somehow I found that karma. I didn't care shit at it. Well, I liked him as a player, but that moment for me he dropped completely as a, well, should we say it's sportsman? Because sportsman is in sportsmanship. So if you are like a well, I shouldn't say like way out of your league from your opponent, and then you're gonna play all out and you're using a net list and you're doing no effort in your army, and afterwards you're bragging at how you trashed him completely. Well, I'd rather get to know the guy who lost 3 games with a nicely painted army. I'm not gonna say beautiful piece of art, just painted. He did the effort. And it's a bit in character, like how the armies are imagined to be instead of exploited. Well, I'd rather meet that guy and make him one of my, well, I'm not gonna say friends, but associates or people I know at events than the other guy. So that's about the things I would say. So let's go out with Clive Castle's famous words. Now it is your turn. Get out of that couch, go into your hobby space, go to the game center, the garage, the cellar, and go and paint and shape those armies. You'll never find a more rewarding hobby. And probably, he didn't say it exactly like that, but you get it. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye bye.